premarital counseling. What things entail in premarital counseling? I know that one of the things that premarital counseling does is to help you know your, if it's a man, the strength of your sperm.
If counseling is taking 6 months, sex should take like 2 months to discuss.
And what things are we discussing?
Listen, you need to discuss even what is orgasm.
Oh yeah. Don't say because the person is handsome, because the person is educated, because the person is slanging, because the person is able to pray in church like a prayer warrior, the person is an instrumentalist, the person is good at singing. I think those are obsessions.
It is when you get into the marriage that both of you, especially when you both are novice, it's when you get into the marriage that you learn the sex by yourself.
Hi, people of God. Once again, you're welcome to Khariz podcast on Khariz TV. Today, we bring you a very interesting topic. Before you say I do, please do remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Khariz TV. Make sure you leave a comment, like, share to bless others. I'm DATN, and I'll be chairing this discussion as it goes along. I have to my right
Selena.
Gillian.
Pokria.
Thank you very much. I'm sure there's a lot of things that are going through your mind. Like when anybody hears the topic of relationship and marriage, they are so excited. And so want to see some of the things you do before you say I do. Some of the things to consider before you say I do. Some of the things to think about before you say I do. We will start from premarital counseling. Is it really necessary? What goes into premarital counseling? So I like to throw it to my panelists to help me digest this topic. Premarital counseling, is it important at all?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Premarital counseling is very, very necessary. I think before you say I do, there are a lot of things you need to consider. And the premarital counseling comes when the church starts taking you through the counseling before the wedding. But I'm sure whilst in the relationship, there are things you need to know before you even get to the premarital counseling stage. Because you would have to be going through processes, relationships, knowing yourselves, courting before you get to the premarital stage. To me, I think the most important aspect that you need to look at is communication. The level at which you two can communicate. I'm sure my sisters will also add that too. So let's keep going.
Okay. It's also worth to note that before premarital counseling comes into the picture, it means that you have known each other and you have decided to take the relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
The eventual destination, which is marriage.
Yes.
So let's note that.
Yeah, so premarital counseling is very important because sometimes you think that you really know your partner very well. This is really somebody you want to settle down with, but you go through premarital counseling and you realize that no, I don't think I want to settle down. Because if you go to a proper counselor, they would make you do things, they would ask you some questions, they would take you through some exercises, and then sometimes you realize that I don't want to be with this person. So premarital counseling is not something you want to do without before saying I do.
Please make sure you remember, I'll come for the exercise and the things that they will ask you to do,
Sure.
which will help you know whether this person is somebody you want to be
Sure.
with the rest of your life.
Yes, I would say premarital counseling is very important because, it's during that time that you are able to even understand your partner more. And there are times that some of the questions you will not it will not even occur to you that sometimes you'll be surprised at the answers that your partner gives to the questions, some of the questions. And you realize that, oh, I thought I knew him better. But it's then that you get to know that, no, you are even getting to know him better. Not that you know him. As long as you are starting, because some of the answers are so important that without it, like, you will not even know the person you are getting married to. And I would say that not only premarital counseling, our sister said it in her submission, you need to go through a certain state of education. Let me use that word.
Yeah.
Education, either by family or by siblings. If your sibling is older than you and has been married before you, I think you are supposed to take some advices from, or counseling, or a little coaching from your siblings whilst in relationship before you even get to the counseling stage. Because some of us, we were brought up from a home that it's difficult for children and their parents to communicate. My dad was the strict type. My mom is also strict, but they are not our friends. We can't go to them and say, oh, so how should I do this? So when I see this, does it mean a red light or something? We don't know it. So you study the person for some time and you feel, okay, I'm good to go. I'm ready for marriage. That is when you go through the counseling. And believe you me, when you go through the counseling, you realize that there are things you were supposed to even know before the counseling stage.
Okay.
So I will advise or ask the church that since we have these youth services and groups, we can be doing the counseling or the advice or the coaching at that stage before they get to the counseling stage.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that means that premarital counseling
Yes.
has to be undergone. And
Before-
I believe that
During
before you even
relationship.
get to the point where you have to undergo
Premarital
premarital counseling.
relationship counseling.
Yeah, so
Pre-relationship counseling.
Yes, pre-relationship.
Before premarital counseling.
Exactly.
Because you go through the relationship before you get to the premarital.
Yeah.
And at that stage, you get to know that there are so many red flags you overlook.
Yeah, we'll get there.
You see? So there should be relationship
Or probably
counseling.
relationship count, because if you say pre-relationship, it means that it should be
Before the
before the
relationship.
relationship.
Yes,
Yeah,
before
yeah,
people get
so
into
So before the
relationship.
relationship starts,
And then
Yes.
premarital.
okay,
Before people
Yeah.
get into relationship, there
they
are
should
things
they should
have
go
to
through
be
some form of
aware.
counseling.
Because
Yes.
if we go deeper, you find that some people have very funny reasons for going into
Into
relationships.
relationships in the
Before
first
you-
place.
You get it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I would say that I'll use myself as an example. I got married at the age of 22.
That's
And I would say 22, I thought I was matured enough
Enough.
because
Yeah.
I could take care of the home, take up responsibilities. By then, I've completed school and I thought I've started something. So, yes, I can marry, I went into marriage before I realized that it was no child's play. There was a lot to it than meets the eye. So, I would say that relationship-wise, for you to even know this is the right partner is another thing.
Yeah.
Okay, what shows that this is someone I need to spend the rest of my life with? How will you
What
know?
things do you look out?
And what do you have to look out for? And what will you see that as a red flag? What is a red flag? You understand me? So whilst in relationship, we need to understand certain things. Even before you start the relationship and say, yes, I accept to be your friend, because it starts from friendship to something. So before I even get to that with you, I've seen this and that, and you talk about it. My sister said communication. You let the person know that I don't like this thing. I like this. No, this thing, no. It's not okay with me. I was saying in my relationship, because one, the person was my mom's best friend's son. and it's like a family kind of
Work
thing.
it out for
Yeah. So
They
okay,
match
my
made
mom's
them.
best friend. When we get married, okay, then
You
that
still
is
keep the relationship going as friends.
I didn't know there was more to it than that. You see, so I would say that before you even say yes to that person, to steady yourselves to get to the premarital counseling, there are things you need
Yeah.
to understand.
Because to be honest with you, a lot of people go into relationships for the very wrong reasons. Like some it's because they've seen on social media that this person's working with her boyfriend. The boyfriend bought her this, so me too, and they are going out to the beach and so some funny childish reasons.
Yes.
So I want us to try and go deeper into premarital counseling. What things entail in premarital counseling? I know that one of the things that premarital counseling does is to help you know if it's a man, the strength of your sperm. What is it called?
The strength of your sperm.
High sperm count or low sperm count.
Yes, there's a term
The
for
sperm
it.
count.
Yes, and then for the woman, whether
You are fertile.
and also genotype, right?
Yeah.
So can we maybe start from there?
You see, that is why we are saying that there are things you need to know even before you get to the stage of premarital counseling. To start a relationship, why are you starting the relationship? And what have you seen in that particular person that you are starting a relationship with? Don't say because the person is handsome, because the person is educated, because the person is slanging, because the person is able to pray in church like a prayer warrior, the person is an instrumentalist, the person is good at singing. Those I think those are obsessions in the stage of getting into a relationship. Before you get into a relationship, there are certain things you need to know. Whether this person, especially the communication, the way the person reacts to things, the way the person sees you. I read a book that said, before somebody will marry you, a person might have chose you amongst a lot of people. And when your mother loves you because you are her son, your father loves you because you are his son, your sisters love you because you are their brother. It's like vice versa. But the man that will marry you is somebody who chose you for who you are. So before you yourself, you even get to the premarital counseling stage, who are you? What are you worth? Nowadays, we say that what are you bringing to the table? And I will use let me use this guy, the guy who got married to a Ghanaian lady. Moses Blessing. Moses Blessing. That guy. You see the woman he went in for. The lady is a lawyer. I don't know if I'm right, but this Moses, apart from he being a singer, I don't know his other things he does. But look at the lady he went for. The level at which she's got it. People won't understand why he would have to fly all the way from Nigeria to come to Ghana and pick that gem. Because there are people in Nigeria. Somebody will say there are ladies, good, beautiful people in Nigeria. But he flew all that way, came here. But he still came to marry her in Ghana.
But he didn't, probably even from the start, he may not even know that the lady was a Ghanaian. Because they met on social media.
So, that area too. But before you yourself, you go into a relationship to the stage of premarital counseling. Some of us, we didn't get the opportunity to know these things we are talking about today. What is the person's state of finances? How is the person living his life, planning his future, with you in the picture, with your children coming in? How is the person going to take losses? How is the person able to take shocks? Like new things happening in their marriage. Before you even get into the marriage, it's a whole lot of things. And our counselors in some churches is work. When we get to premarital counseling, it's work. Because what will work in your marriage may not work in mine. The food my husband may eat is not what her husband may like. So we will go to the same counselor. Is the same counseling? No.
Okay. So I think that before you get to know the person up to this point, it means that you should be in a relationship with them. There's no way
sure.
you know somebody this much until you are in a relationship with them. Okay. I want us to try and exhaust the bit about the tests, because some people don't know the details of what goes into premarital counseling. Some of the things you are supposed to know and do during premarital counseling is the medical test, so that you get to know whether the man is potent, get to know whether the woman is fertile, because these are grounds for divorce later when they are not found out.
Yes.
So I want us to touch on that. For example, is it necessary to run those tests at all?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's very necessary. I'll use myself as an example. Before I got married, we didn't go for the genotype tests. So I didn't know his genotype, and even mine, I didn't know mine. So after marriage that we gave birth, and I realized I was AC and he was AS.
Air condition.
No, AC is also another genotype. You know, we have AA, we have AC, we have AS, we have SS. I like to have some other ones.
we have SC.
SC, yes. So you see, when you are AS and you get married to AC, you give birth to a child who is SC.
It's even more dangerous than SC.
And SC is as dangerous as SS.
Sickle cell.
You understand? And these things I didn't know. It was after our marriage that, you know, these things came up, because we've met ourselves and we think we are in love, and that's all that matters. So why not? And you stay together. But if we were to go through this test, I could realize that this is what it means. This is what we should prepare for. Anything can happen. You can give birth to a child that is AS, SC, or AC, or AA, because AA, AS, and AC. You see, when it combines, it's either you give birth to AA1, AC2, AS, another, and AA. But I will not know.
You will not know which one will come first.
You don't know. So my son was SC. Do you understand? My son was SC. But he was 6 years before we got to know he was SC.
Can you imagine?
And the pain they go through, sickle cell, is so painful. The pain they go through, the joint pains, the crisis. Let me use that word, the crisis. My brother, if you see your son or your child suffering in that state, when it rains, that's another thing. What they are not supposed to eat, how you are supposed to handle them in some way. My son never kicked a ball at school because it will turn to something else, you know. So if you go for this counseling and this test is being run, it will help you yourself. Because imagine your child suffering, you give the mother to you suffer as well. The money that will be involved when you get to the hospital, almost every month you have to visit the hospital because there is a crisis. So it's very important. I would say very important. Even in relationship, you need to ask the person of the genotype. Because if you don't know the person's genotype and you've been in a relationship for like a year or two, and you get to know, okay, he's AC and I'm also AC, so it means I will give birth to a child who is SS. 2 years, it will not be easy for you to back out. It will be so difficult when you get to that stage. But the first question, okay, you are nice, you are this, I want you as a friend. I think the next question should be the genotype. Yes.
And then you have to go and check before we start a relationship.
Yes, and now it's common. You go to any lab, they can test you for you to know your genotype.
And it's not expensive.
You know, so as a human being, let me use that word, as a human being, you need to know your genotype. You ask some of them and they'll say, oh, I'm O positive. O positive is not genotype.
That is blood group.
So they confuse the blood group with
The
the genotype.
genotype, yes, please.
So please, if you are listening and you are watching, asking for somebody's genotype should be as easy as asking them what's
Their phone
their
number.
favorite food or what their name is. Hello, please, what's your name? What's your genotype? Then
Before you
know that-
fall in love.
Before you fall in
Because to be
love.
honest, like they are saying, it's possible that you be in a relationship with a person for 5 years, 4 years, 6 years,
Hey,
only to get to the point
is
of
it a
premarital
degree you are
counseling.
doing?
Then they demand of you to go run the test, and you find that you are not compatible in that light. How would you feel?
Right.
So please, what other tests are done? I think you mentioned, you alluded to the blood, and then maybe we should go to the potency and then the fertility.
Yeah, so with the potency, most places, like most churches, don't do it because some feel okay, that one is something,
Power the people.
that one can be cured. You know, that one
or it's in the hands of God.
is
Yes. Power
and
them.
you know, but it's important, okay? It's important because there are some people who want to have kids right after marriage. Well, it's God that gives kids, but some people, they know that, oh, I'm okay, so right after marriage I want to have kids, and they won't have the heart or the patience to wait for you for 1 year to cure yourself from low sperm count or infertility. So I think that the way you would ask someone about their genotype and all that is the same way
Okay.
you should. No, that one is not even asking the person about whether they have a low sperm count or not. But maybe along the line, you both can go to the hospital and check, because that is curable. At least that is curable. Now, low sperm count is not really a big problem like before. That is, it's not like the genotype where there is nothing you can do about it. Low sperm count or infertility is curable. I mean, there are good hospitals that you go, they teach you some foods to eat, some foods not to eat, some food supplements they will give you and all that, and it will help. After some months, you go and then you check and you realize that you are okay. So that one is not so much of a problem, but it's still important that you check, because some people get married and for a year, 2, 3, 4, there are no kids. They don't even know why there are no kids. They don't know what the problem is. But if you know the problem, even before marriage, you can solve it before marriage.
They may conclude that it's spiritual.
That,
everything is akin.
yeah, we conclude that the riches from my mother's house and my father's house are, but maybe some small thing, some small disorder somewhere, they treat it for you. So it's better you know before you enter, so that if you don't have the heart to wait for your partner to be treated, you walk away. You don't even go into the marriage where you would go and mess up the person because the person is not able to have a child, or then the man, if it's the woman's fault, the man will go outside the marriage. And if it's most times, you know, the funny thing is that most times not having children in marriage is most times alluded to the women. We always feel that it's the women, but studies have shown that childlessness in marriage, the higher percentage is from the men. That most men, because of alcohol and other things, most men have low sperm count. But we always think that it's the women. So most women would have the patience to be there and then wait for the man to be treated, but men don't have that patience. So it's always good that you go, you know, so that if you get married and the family are like, and our the woman is not there, you can shut them up. Hey, it's your son's fault. Please wait. We are working on it.
Now, I think also, you know, the way society has socialized men, it's difficult for them to accept that they are the problem. Like, it doesn't even cross their mind. And when you try to indirectly or directly draw their attention to it, they will fight you.
Yeah.
Some will even threaten to divorce you, like in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But so
I think that if you are watching this, to be honest with you, you have to accept that it can be either way. It can be from the woman,
or
it can
from
be
the
from
man.
yourself. So when children are not coming, you should be humble enough to also, as a man, subject yourself to test. Okay, you mentioned something about like the patience, and when you're about to get into the marriage, you get to find out that this is my condition, or you don't get to find out only to get into the marriage, and then now you are having to wait and all that. I feel like some of these things, once we accept that we want to enter into the marriage, we should. And for those who are watching, they are privileged to have this information about the fact that indeed during counseling, these are some of the things
they ask.
So that before you even commit yourself in a relationship for years and waste of time, you would have known your condition. So just like the genotype, you go to the hospital, you go and check whether you are a fertile woman. You go to the hospital, you get to check whether you're a fertile man or a potent man.
Yeah.
I don't know how that of the woman is done, but I believe we leave it for the medical people. But for me, I'm concerned about how that of the men is done. It means that they will require semen.
They will require semen.
And if you are in a relationship, how would they get your semen?
There is a way you do it. When you get to the facility, they will show you.
You should.
We wouldn't want to teach anybody how to.
Look, it's like when you said you mentioned that you don't know how that of the women are done. It's just they take your blood and they have all that in it.
Okay. Yeah.
But for the men, I think it's that the women, they go through certain scans to check all those things. But mine, like my sister said, we are all saying, before you even start a relationship with somebody's son or somebody's daughter, know your health status. It's very necessary. When you know it, you start the friendship. That is when you start. Sometimes you bring about those conversations. You'll be mature enough to bring about those conversations to you ask, oh Charlie, into sa genotype was why a bida. Unye biya. Let's go. Like mate. So let's go so that we will check. Don't even say you have already done yours and you know. You go together, you check. It's just they'll just take your blood sample and then they check. It's just within 1 hour you get your result. When you get to know it, and she says she's AS and you are also AS. Someone for motive, you've not already said your motive, so you just
yourself.
You just continue with the friendship. Go on with the friendship. Don't even mention anything like relationship. When you get to know your genotype, the low sperm count or whatever, when you have gone to check, it should be private. Go and check. You don't have to go with your partner to go and check. Go and check yours first. Even before you get to premarital stage, check your status, know it, and then when you are starting a relationship and you know that you yourself, you know you are strong. Within communication, just tell the person, Charlie, once we are already here, let's go and check for our status. Both of you should go. Once you know yours, the lady should also know hers, or if she doesn't know, go and check together. Know your status before you take the whole step of even getting to the premarital counseling stage. Because once you get there, the disappointment is more massive than you knowing within the relationship. Because it will be very painful, like you've already said, 5 years or 2 years down in a relationship, you get to know that your partner is AS, you are SC, and then you can't get married. You just don't have to, because you'll be doing more damage to the children that you give birth to than even to yourself. Because your finances, your peace in the house, at midnight your child will have crisis, you would have to be running helter-skelter. People are still going through.
But I love him.
You love him. Love is not enough.
Oh, he is my world.
Your wealth.
But how about it?
God that created his wealth, and somebody is yours, and your wealth.
You see, the thing,
I don't be serious with
I
this
don't
thing.
even.
It's very critical.
It's not even about say you love the man. At that point, yeah, you are spending money to take care of the child, but the child is actually suffering more. You should be about unless you both decide that, okay, we don't want to have kids. Because there are people like that.
In this our world.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Some people decide to adopt.
Are they in Ghana?
Oh, you be surprised. Like that.
There are people who
They
do not
accept
want to have
adopt.
kids. Yeah,
And
they
they
decide
live
to adopt. Apart from that, but even that, no, people change their mind along the way.
Sure.
Oh, now I think I want kids. Yeah, because you
That's
see,
how we go
It's
and
true.
play around town.
It's true.
from the
No,
start,
once the
they
person is
think that
wed,
they are so much in love.
Some
Oh,
men
we
do.
can do it. Oh, we can do. Let's not have kids.
Mm.
Let's not have kids. But I think now they say that there is a way you can check, and that is what is actually encouraging a lot of people now to enter into marriages. AS and AS are married because they say now you can, if you get pregnant,
Surrogacy.
you can check. No, if you get
Check
pregnant,
the genotype
you can
in the-
check
in the
the
womb.
genotype in the womb.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's-
So that
that's
if
what
the child is
SS,
not, are you going to
that
adopt
is-
it?
yes.
Then they kill the
Then,
child.
yes.
You are
So
saying-
that is the new. So people are actually thinking that, oh, we can do it, and then when we check and the child is SS, we just terminate
That's
it.
cruel.
Yes.
But terminating pregnant for how long?
But you know that now too, we have bone marrow transplants. If you are SS or SC and you go through the transplant, it can change
But it's
your.
expensive.
It's
very
you
expensive.
so many
Very
people
expensive.
cannot
Very
afford.
I don't even think, is it in Ghana now? I think
Yes,
it's
in
it's
Ghana.
now in
Yeah,
Ghana because
yeah, so it's,
it was.
it's
yes.
very recent.
Yes, bone marrow
But it's very
transplant.
expensive. How many people can afford that?
It's expensive. Oh.
You see, there was this young people that was about to get married, and unfortunately they are AS. So one of their aunties came to tell me that, okay, you see, my daughter is AS, and the guy she's about to get married to is AS. We've advised them severally, they are not listening, but we want your voice, so I should talk to them. I invited the lady, and I used myself as an example to even educate her, because mine was even SC. By now, yours will be SS. More serious. So please, I want to just advise you. Walk out of it this time before it's too late. Oh, what do we love ourselves? For us, we trust in God. We trust in God.
Faith.
And what if the child picks AA or AS instead? Why should it be SS? Hey, auntie, we trust God. We've prayed about it. I said, okay. After marriage, they gave birth. The child, after birth, the child has been in Kolebu for like 6 months now. The child is SS. Now it's the
So where
baby
is
that
the
is
lab?
suffering.
It's a big risk.
Has
They
the
took
lab been able to heal the
The
child?
child.
And let me tell you, when your child is always sick or ill or crisis, it even brings confusion between
The couple.
the couple. Because why is it that always he's sick, always she's sick? What is the problem? I mean, I'm tired though. It creates more confusion at that stage. So to avoid that, you check your genotype, you know your genotype before you start the relationship. Very important.
Yeah.
And now you need to listen to this advice. If you're about to get married, please, not even before marriage, before the person even proposes. Oh, I want to have a relationship with you. Get to know the person's genotype so that you don't end up disappointed. Because it will be very painful for you to. And the funny thing is, now our counselor will even start, before we start counseling, we've already bought the ring and everything.
Preparation towards marriage.
Oh, they've purchased everything. So now,
prepare.
after the counseling, you realize that the two of you are not compatible. Oh, we've bought the things already. You check your genotype at stage, and it's AS. Oh, no problem.
So I think that it's obvious that the formula has to be changed.
Yes.
You've been doing things the wrong way.
If the people are ready, they've known each other for so long and have prepared by way of buying the things, have gone to see the families, before they are now having to be subjected to tests only to find out. So In the meantime, since we don't have that, make sure that before you enter into a relationship, you yourself will find out all those things. And I think STIs, HIV, and
Yeah,
the
all
like,
that.
they're all part
They
of
are
it.
all
Yeah.
part of
So
it.
please take advantage of this podcast. Get to find out your status in all these areas. Now, we want to go into some other areas that are touched on during premarital counseling.
I want to center mine on, when it comes to before marriage, there should be this knowledge about yourself and how much you weigh and how much you can take as a person. We've seen and we've learned certain things along the line. It is not wrong to want to marry a rich man. It's not wrong. It's not wrong to want to marry an ambitious person. But don't marry an ambitious person who is lazy, who will always say, I am going to fast 30 days and pray for God to open doors. Whilst praying, he will be in the room, not writing application to go and check. Don't think that when you get to that state, people change in marriage. That one is another topic for another day. People don't change. It takes time. People are always interested in themselves. People marry for what they will gain in their marriage. Some people marry because of what they will gain in their marriage. The motives behind you as a woman going in for that premarital counseling. How much are you worth? Do you know your own worth? Men want to be respected. Men want to have women who they can communicate with. A woman who is eloquent, fluent, knows what topics and how to digest issues. Men would want people. That is how come sometimes you'll be in a relationship with somebody and you say, the guy flows better with his best friend than you, the girlfriend, because you are not able to have that communication flow. You need to check that. Women want security. A woman would want to be secured. That is how come some women will be at certain places, they will be beating them, yet because she has a place she can put her hair, feed, she'll still contain it. She'll be able to contain it for a very long time until the worst has happened before a woman can go out. So before you even get to that marital counseling stage, whilst in the relationship, check out all these things: the finances, the anger management, the communication, the person's way of spending, the way the person. Some men are stingy, some boyfriends are stingy. Some beloved, is it beloved or boyfriend? Whichever. There are some of them are stingy.
That's all.
Some of them are stingy. Some of them don't. We have the motive that once you are in the relationship stage, you don't have to be spending money on your partner. No, you don't have to.
Okay.
But you should be concerned about the person's welfare as well.
So that means that the premarital counseling helps you to align your mind to know yourself, appreciating who you are, and then your partner.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what other things are handled? I think off camera we're talking about sex, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, sex, as for sex, it's in such a way that at counseling, that's no way they will teach you how to have sex. Okay.
They
But
won't even
are they
mention it.
supposed to?
They
are supposed to talk about sex. They are supposed to talk about sex, but it is when you get into the marriage that both of you, especially when you both are novice, when you both don't know anything, it's when you get into the marriage that you learn the sex by yourself. But they
Depend on the Lord.
The Lord is your strength.
when
Lord
you
will show you the way. There seems to be no way.
Moses.
when you both don't know anything, it's nice because when you get into the marriage, you are now you are
Exploring together.
exploring. Thank you. You are exploring together. And now somebody knows this, and the person will be like, my partner is lazy, and you both don't know anything. So the counselor will actually tell you all this. The counselor is not supposed to tell you the styles to do. That one happens when in the marriage your sex life is bad, or one partner complains about the sex life, and then you go and see a sex therapist. Then at that stage, you're already married. They will teach you some things. But premarital counseling, when they want to talk about sex, they only tell you some of the things to do or some of the things to expect during sex in the marriage. But they won't teach you the styles. What if they teach you and you go and practice it before the marriage? So that is sex during premarital counseling is not a place to teach you the styles
It's
and
not
where to
detailed.
hold and
Use
where
the
not
whole
to
thing.
hold. That one day you
Yeah.
enter into the marriage, you know your partner's sensitive parts and then all that. That one you are in the marriage.
How will you know?
No, I mean when you enter, of course, when you enter into the marriage, that's why we said you explore. So as you are exploring your whole body, you don't just explore your head and leave the legs. You explore from the head to the toe,
You know?
and then as you keep exploring, you get to know.
Would you agree that it is enough how it is being done now, or do you recommend that it is done better, that they go deeper?
Oh well, personally,
Because the premarital period, it takes about 6 months, or it differs from
it
case.
depends.
from-
It
But
depends.
it's
Some
no more
are
than a
3
year,
months,
right?
some are
No.
6
No more than a
months.
year. So it means that top 6 months.
Top
9
6 months.
6 months, right? Yes. So that period.
Me, what I think is that some counselors are even shy talking about sex during the prima. It must be talked about. You must let the couple know that sex plays a major role
In marriage.
in marriage. Okay? Intimacy. It is so important. You cannot talk about intimacy in marriage without talking about sex. It is so important. Like, let them know. Delve deep. The only thing I think that you can't do is telling them the styles they should do.
No, they have to be told.
No.
With their styles.
No.
Allow.
Me? Yeah, that's what I said personally. Now, the start, wait. You see, human beings,